Hey everyone, and welcome to the Young Cubs Parenting Podcast Christmas special. Things are obviously looking a bit different today because we don't have guests. It's just us. We've got Christmas hats on. Tell us more.
You've heard of the 12 days of Christmas. Well, this is our 12 parenting key lessons that we have learned. Learned them from doing this podcast, learned them from TikTok and social media, and learned them from our friends and our family. And they've helped us, so we hope they're going to help you.
So grab a mince pie. Let's dive in.
Let's go.
Hey, it's Dan and Charlie here, and this is the Young Cubs Parenting Podcast. We're parents of two little boys, figuring it out as we go, usually somewhere between the school run and the tube to work.
We're not experts by any means. We're just a couple of parents doing our best on Struggle Street, but we have loved every minute of it, and we want to get better at it. So we'll be talking to some good friends about parenting, faith, life, and the culture we're raising our kids in.
In every episode, we're going to be having honest conversations with people who've walked this path before or are walking it right now, sharing real stories, honest reflections, and the kind of wisdom you only get from doing the parenting thing day in and day out.
So whether you're in the chaos, the calm, or somewhere in between, join us on the journey. Subscribe to the Young Cubs channels, and remember, no perfect parents allowed.
Okay, so lesson number 1, create space for conversation. With kids, what we've realized with our own anyway, is that conversations normally don't just happen. Like, you have to create space for them. If I get in the car with Knox and pick him up from school and I just turn over and say, hey buddy, how was your day? Or something like that, I get hit with the same one-word answer every time, which is fine. But what I realized is if I slow down, I sit with him and I say something like, hey buddy, what was the funniest thing that happened today? Or what was your favorite thing in your lunchbox? Or what was one thing that if you could, you would relive from today? Then suddenly the stories really start to flow. And I think the real key here isn't just obviously good questions, although I do think they're important. It's how I listen. Putting my phone down and making eye contact and leaning in and laughing when he says something funny. I think kids really know when you're distracted. And if they don't feel heard in the small things, I know that later in life, they're not going to come to me with the big things. And so creating space for conversation is less about finding the perfect words to say, but actually more about just your presence, showing up, being present, and then letting them know that their voice really matters.
It's a good one.
Thanks.
Okay, number 2 is establish clear boundaries. Now, I've messed up this one more times than I like to admit. And I've said things like, if you do this, you won't get this. And I've caved anyway. Absolute dad fail. What I've realized is that when I do that, I'm actually teaching my kids that my word doesn't mean anything. And if my word doesn't mean anything, discipline is a joke. Boundaries only work when they're consistent. And that's the hard part, because sometimes you just want peace and quiet. But the truth is, holding the line is what builds trust. Kids feel safer when the boundaries don't keep shifting. So as hard as it is, try and keep to your boundaries, because that creates that safe space for your kid.
Number 3, catch them doing good. Now, this is about balancing correction with celebration. If I'm going to point out where my kids are getting it wrong, I'm also going to need to point out where they're getting it right. Otherwise, all they're going to hear is criticism. So now what I do is I make a point to catch them in the act of being kind or responsible. So the other morning, Knox was making breakfast for his brother, and I didn't ask him to do this. He just did it on his own accord. And instead of just standing there and thinking, wow, that's really nice, I stopped and I told him, hey buddy, that was really kind of you. And his whole face lit up, didn't it? And I think that's what encouragement does. It shifts the atmosphere at home. And the science actually backs that up, by the way. They say that positive reinforcement is 5 times more effective than punishment for long-term behavior change.
Number 4 is lead by example. This one's hard because it puts the responsibility back on us. But the truth is that kids are like little sponges and they pick up everything from us, the good and the bad. So it's important to us that we lead by example. Now, we're not going to get it right all the time, that's for sure. And I've definitely failed a lot of times in this area. But what I've done is I've thought about how I model to my kids, even the stuff that I do get wrong. I remember not too long ago, I raised my voice at Knox and it wasn't in a good way. We managed to sort it all out and Knox was in bed, happy as Larry. But still, I went into his bedroom and I said, hey mate, I'm so sorry for raising my voice. It's not the way I want to be. It's not the way I don't want to behave. So I just want to say sorry. Knox didn't ask for an apology, but in that moment he could see that I'm not a perfect parent and I'm okay with that, but I will take ownership of my mistakes. And so leading by example is one of the greatest ways we can lead as parents.
Okay, number 5, coach their big feelings. If you've got kids, you know their emotions are huge. Well, our boys are anyway. They've got big emotions. One minute it's like, I hate you. The next minute it's I love you. It's like, you're the best mummy in the world, you're the worst mummy in the world. And I used to actually take those things really, really personally. But now I've come to realize it's obviously not about me, and I've learned not to. My job is obviously to help them name what they're feeling. So whether that's anger or sadness, excitement or jealousy, whatever it is, it's okay to feel it. What matters is what they then do with it. And so I'll tell them, I told Knox the other day, it's okay to be angry, buddy, but it's not okay to hit your brother when you're angry. And I think it really takes patience to walk with them through the storm and these big emotions. But actually, that's how they learn to regulate.
Love that one. The 6th Christmas key that we have learned that we want to share with you today is don't fix it, guide it. Now, it's tempting to jump in and fix every little problem for your kids. But if you keep rescuing them, they never learn to think for themselves. It's like that old saying, don't just give someone a fish, but give them a rod and teach them how to fish.
I like that.
Jay loves that. She loves to fish. She actually fishes. Our first date, she had a proper fish in her fingers. It was gross. So when something goes wrong, I try to guide them. So what's the problem? What can you do? What might work? It's slow in the short term, but in the long run, it builds independence. So how can you not just fix the situation, but how can you actually guide your kids through it?
Love that. The next one, number 7, is protect your family rhythms. The rhythms we set now are the ones that will carry through the teenage years. So for us, things like family time is a non-negotiable, even if it's super, super short. Like sometimes dinners only last 15 minutes, right? And Dan's labored in the kitchen for like 4 hours. Yeah. But I think it's not about that. It's the consistency that actually matters. And here's the other thing. Not everything we've learned, and we've been told actually by a lot of friends and family, which has really helped us, revolves around the kids. Not everything revolves around the kids. Sometimes they join us in what we like to do. Family isn't just catering to them all the time, but it's actually about doing life together.
Number 8 Christmas key that we've learned is give them real responsibilities. Now, our eldest Knox is only 7, but he has real responsibilities in the house. He helps out with breakfast, gets the Cheerios out, he unloads the dishwasher, puts the cutlery away. He and Nico both put away their own shoes and pajamas. And I know for some of you, like, that's not much. Your kids might do way more, but for us...
Not NASA level responsibility going on.
No, but the goal isn't perfection, it's habits.
Yeah. There's a lady called Maria Montessori, and she actually says, don't do for children what they can do for themselves. And I think we're always reminding of each other about that. And Harvard research actually found kids who did chores early on grow into adults with higher self-esteem and greater success. So it starts small, but it pays big later.
I love that you're chucking in like Harvard research into these.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I just whip my hair back and forth, but my hat back and forth.
Right, number 9 is prioritize presence over perfection.
I can personally get so caught up in making the moment perfect. Like I need a clean house, I like the birthday cake to be perfect, all that kind of stuff that I actually often miss being in the moments. What my boys really want, I've come to realize, is not everything being perfect around them, but actually they want me playing with them on the floor, not me stressing about the laundry. And you're a lot better, I feel like, at this than me. But my kids aren't going to remember at the end of the day how clean the house was, but they are going to remember if I was there playing with them on the floor. And so this one is just about presence over perfection. It's actually one of the best gifts we can give them is our presence.
Number 10 is celebrate effort, not just results. And I love speaking about this one because I've learned this from my own parents. Growing up, my parents cared more about my effort grade than I did my academic grade. And that stuck with me. Now our boys, we try to celebrate effort more than the outcome because failing isn't the end. It's part of learning. Research shows that kids praised for effort are 50% more likely to tackle hard challenges. So teaching our kids to value persistence over perfection is what sets them up for resilience later on in life. I remember when I was learning Spanish, I got A for effort and E for skill and ability.
I love that. Number 11, fan the fart. Oh my God.
Fan the fart. Love that.
Okay, number 11, fan the spark in them. Every child has something that makes them light up. And I feel like we've heard a lot about this on some of our episodes, actually, whether that's dinosaurs or football or drawing or arts and crafts. The key is that it's not about what we think is useful or important for our kids, but actually it's about creating space for the things that excite them. So Knox, for example, he loves nature, right? He loves watching nature programs. From a young age, he has loved nature, and that passion has only grown. And those little interests actually can become windows into who our kids are becoming. And so I think our job isn't to steer them into what we value, what we want them to be about, but actually just to notice and encourage and give them room to explore.
And the final 12th parenting hack we've got for you this Christmas is keep growing as a parent. And we are not perfect parents, but one thing we have to commit to is that we're going to keep growing. When you start your career, you study, and when you pick up a new hobby, you research. Parenting shouldn't be any different. Everything we're sharing here comes from listening, reading, learning, and asking questions. Charlie and I are still students of parenting, and we want to stay that way.
The best part is you don't have to do it alone. Parenting feels lighter in community. So we really encourage you, share the wins, the fails, the funny, the hard, like we do on these. We learn better together.
That's right. So why not this Christmas, invite some friends, family over. Maybe you've never talked about parenting with them before because of parenting guilt or whatever, but use this opportunity to hang out, share stories, encourage one another, and carry on that parenting journey throughout Christmas and beyond.
Yeah, 12 parenting tips with all the mess and the magic thrown in. We hope you enjoy it. We hope you have a great Christmas, and we'll see you in 2026.
Take care. Lots of love.